We are opportunity to be joined by another public affairs analyst, Fred Uyigwe. Good morning, Fred.
I thank you so very much for inviting me. Good morning.
All right. Let's look at what is happening concerning the epidemic in kidnapping. We've been hearing about reports and even the buses that took off from eastern Nigeria to Abuja were also attacked. You know, we heard about reports about the Ekiti, where people also were kidnapped. We have a lot of stories in different places in the country. And now we are looking at the aspect of getting it right, you know, community policing, state policing, having a federal system that works. What are your thoughts in this light?
Well, it's unfortunate that we are in this situation at the moment, but it's not surprising to anybody anymore because this has been coming a long time. Nigeria seems to be in a free fall on all scores. Now, especially in security, concerning security matters. Number one, criminals respond to government's body language.
Okay.
Okay. If there are no consequences and they see that things are the way they used to be, they will continue and even become emboldened. And that is what we are seeing now. Criminals are emboldened. There's a high impunity among criminals to do as they wish.
This could also be coming from what they see in the leadership.
Because of what they see in the leadership. If you have corrupt leadership, they tell themselves that if the leadership is corrupt, why not themselves? I mean, for them, it's the only way they can get their own portion of the cake.
Okay, but Nigerians are asking, how do we get a quick fix it? How do we get a quick fix it from this quagmire?
Thank you. First, we have to be serious about administering consequences, administering penalties to people who perpetuate these things. In the East Asian countries, especially, if you kidnap somebody, it's a death penalty. For that, if you begin to, if we now promulgate a law like that, to have death penalty as the consequence for kidnapping, I believe the state will reduce.
Okay, but that's not a quick fix it. That's not a quick fix it. It's going to go through deliberations. It's going to go through sponsoring a bill, and we don't know how that is going to fly. Yeah. But let's look at looking at the policies of the President Bola Tinubu. Do you see a determination on the part of the government? Because, like what Frank Ayosun said, he said there's no determination. Now, do you see a determination on the part of President Bola Tinubu to tackle it just now? Looking at the formation that is expected in the police force and, of course, in other sister agencies.
Okay, let me go back to what I said. If there's an announcement today by the administration that they are pursuing death penalty as a consequence for kidnapping, immediately the criminals too will react. They will begin to drop down their tools. They will begin to play down on their criminality. That is quick. Talking about other solutions, you mentioned state policing and all of that. I have been here before to discuss state policing and all that. A lot of people talk about state policing and cite the United States as a good example. In the United States, I would tell you, I also studied security to
some extent.
To some extent in the United States. 70% of American security system rest on the private sector. So private security systems make up 70% of American security architecture. Private security companies.
Okay.
Because all those military men and women and policemen and women who retire but are not tired have the opportunity to train people to engage in providing other security services to private security firms and private security individuals.
Okay.
Unlike here, where everybody has to depend on the government to provide. That's why we have many of our security men and women seconded to private services, private individuals. That takes a lot away from the security services that the government is able to provide.
All right, thank you. Let's quickly join Frank Eyosun as we round off. Let's get, because you really enumerated and articulated the problems we've been faced with, even taking us through a historical lane. But what do you see as what the government should be doing, both at the federal and the subnational level, to tackle this just now?
What to do is very simple. Impunity is ruled out at all levels. Uphold the law. Consequence for inaction at of people given assignment to carry out. Because right now, you have commissioners of police, you have IGP, you have people left, right, and center. Nobody is here to account. That's why this thing is going on. Just give us one clear scenario in few minutes or few seconds as get TV. Case of Evans, the popular Evans. That was caught in Lagos. Onuamadike. Caught in 2006 as an armed robber with a bank in Lagos. Who had an argument and they shot themselves. Out of 10 of them, 7 died. This was caught with a bullet wound. He survived it. We're supposed to be prosecuted. Somebody within the police, her name is mentioned, is not. It's part of the police band. Okay. Said he's a brother or something or the other.
Okay, thank you.
The officer in charge of the case declined.
Thank you, Frank. I think that's the much we can take from your end. Big thanks for taking our time to be part of this discussion. Now let's come to you in 1 or 2 minutes. What do you see as a quick fix it?
Economy. When the economy is fixed, to an extent, we have addressed security matters. Because when the man is hungry, the hungry man is an angry man. When there's hunger in the land, there's nothing you can do about insecurity. People will go out and do whatever they want to do to make ends meet.
So law enforcement agents can rise up to the occasion?
Very, very well.
Are you saying that, like what he said, Fredo Igwe, making sure that actions are taken drastically to discourage or to serve as a deterrent to others wouldn't work out?
To deterrent is a different thing altogether. It's very important, but it doesn't go far. Because when the economy is fixed, I'm telling you, to an extent, you have soft security matter. Okay. Employment, talk about food security, these things are addressed. Good governance, these things are addressed. To an extent, you have soft security.
But all of this can't just come like a magic wand just now. You know that?
Yes, definitely. And so again, and again, sensitizing the people on security issues. Okay. Very, very important. Okay. The education on security matter is very important.
Okay, let's get your point. I know you are a politician, because some persons have said that the major part of our problems today are caused by politicians. So, let's look at how this can be corrected, because most of the guns that we have today, in the hands of these disgruntled elements, could be the ones that we have gotten in the course of elections and later not taken back from the supporters
that is out there
that help them in achieving an aim.
That information is out there in the public domain, and nobody is controverting that. What needs to be done? See, it's like the insurrection in the United States by Donald Trump. People came out to say both the person who committed the crime and the person who aided in the crime have to be punished. So if you catch a criminal with a gun that is not supposed to have, a military gun, for example, submachine gun, and you know that the criminal has no capacity to buy such a gun, but must have acquired it, if not by another criminality, but from people who parade themselves as the nobility, you arrest them. When you trace it to them, you arrest them. And if there are consequences, you see, this paddy matter that we say we do, my friend committed a crime and I'm not going to prosecute him. the next time you might be the victim of what he has done.
And these abounds among politicians.
So it
these abounds within the political system.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have to even put each other, call each other to account.
We expect that even the president will be doing this, most especially as regards the fight against corruption, even the better Eju's story, which probably people are thinking that is thinning down. Because again, that's an issue that should be looked into.
See, that is the kind of body language that criminals see and say that, oh, well, if that's the way that issue is going to be treated, I can also commit my own crime and hope to get a way out of it. So it's psychological. See, criminality comes from one, biological inheritance. Okay, it comes from your social makeup, the society you live in, and it comes from the economy. Criminals, they don't stop criminality because the economy is bad.
All right.
So whether a bad economy or a very good economy, a criminal is a criminal.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Big thanks, Fred Uyigwe, for taking our time in this short notice to be part of this. And big thanks, Reverend Dr. Sheriff Azeke, for taking our time.